Hello, good day from my kitchen to yours. I wanted to show you guys the recipe for making elderberry syrup because it's really super simple and it's just a high potency cold and flu remedy or preventative because it's high in vitamin C and it tastes pretty good. The recipe I use calls for quite a bit of honey, which I actually found to be too much. So I use half a cup instead of a full cup. Okay, so here we go. We need elderberries, of course. So I use 2/3 of a cup dried elderberries, or you can use 1 1/3 of a cup fresh berries. You put 3.5 cups of water in your pot. You put the berries in. You put in 2 tablespoons of dried ginger. You put in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You put in half a teaspoon of cloves or clove powder. And what I did was, I just had cloves like this, and I actually just put them in my blender to crush them up a little bit. And it worked out really nicely, I'll show you. So it just kind of chopped them up. I put it on my flour and mill setting on my Ninja Shark blender. I love this thing. Or Ninja Chef blender, sorry. Anyway, so 2 tablespoons of ginger, half a teaspoon of cloves, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and the recipe calls for a cup of raw honey, but I'm going to use half. Okay, so we've let it sit for the 45 minutes to an hour. I did push it all the way up to the 1 hour mark to get it to reduce enough. And then the recipe says to squish it down. I'm using the bottle, or the bottom of a ladle, and just gently squishing it down, which I've already done quite a bit. So just wanted to show how I was doing that. So next we have here is our container, which is I'm just going to put it all in this jar for now, and then I will be, when I'm done mixing it up with the honey, I'm going to separate it into a couple different jars. I like to have smaller batches in the fridge so that I'm not opening and exposing it to air all the time. We have 2 smaller batches, so it just lasts longer, stays fresher. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the elderberries through here. And actually the recipe says to discard the rest of the elderberries, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to keep them. I'm going to blend them, and I'm actually going to strain them one more time and mix them in with the whole syrup mix. I find that it makes the elderberry syrup actually just more syrupy. And then once I have some leftovers from that, if it's not too seedy, I could put it in a smoothie, or I've tried it on pancakes. Like I say, if it's not too seedy and like dry, I guess you could say, at that point, you could use it for pancakes. But yeah, so here we go. I'm going to pour this through. Here we go. So I am going to squish them down a little bit, but since I'm going to be blending them once through, I'm not going to worry so much about getting excess juices out at this point. So that's what my next step is. Squish those down a little bit. Then, when it is no longer hot, which I would say is now only, about 10 minutes after taking it off the stove. When it is no longer hot, but still warm, add the honey and stir well. And then after that is when I'm going to separate it into the 2 batches. So here we go. Push it down. You can hear it getting a little bit of those excess juices out. Alright, that's fine. My daughter wants to be in the video. Sure. Do you know what Mommy's doing? I'm making elderberry syrup. Sure. Yeah. Okay, so now, for the honey, I'm just going to eyeball it.
Look, come on. Wait, you mean nothing?
About half a cup. Here we go.
Honey? I love honey. Can I have a spoon of that?
There we go.
Can I have a spoon of that?
Not right now.
How about after the video? I can.
Here we go.
Honey, yummy. Okay, stop. Okay.
There we
Look.
go.
Okay, stop moving. Red. Okay. Here.
So the honey's pretty well dissolved in there. So there you have it. My jar is 500 mils. It's up to the 500 milliliter line. But that's a lot. The guidelines for supplementing is take half to 1 teaspoon for kids and half to 1 tablespoon for adults. And if a flu does strike, take it every 2 to 3 hours. So yeah, I hope you enjoy your homemade elderberry syrup. And I got everything I have here on Amazon or Thrive Market. And I'll put the recipe in the description box. Thank you so much for watching.